lean on us.
We are here for you.
You matter.
You are not alone.
Are you feeling overwhelmed? Not sure where to turn? The National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there for you 24/7. Call or text 988 or chat at 988sc.org. Whether you're having an emergency or you know someone who needs support now, they can help you take the next step towards finding hope and healing.
There is hope. 988sc.org.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
Well, hello, my paranormal peeps, and welcome back to another paranormal podcast. This is the Anything Goes podcast. This usually goes out on Mondays. I think what I'm going to try and do is release a podcast on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday from here on out, unless Amanda does her ghost stories. So we have a whole series of different types of podcasts for different types of people. We have the Anything Goes podcast. Paranormal podcast, which is this one where we talk about anything paranormal. Doesn't matter if it's ghosts, UFOs, Dogman, as long as it's paranormal in nature, we talk about it. We have the Paranormal News podcast now, and we'll just be kind of sharing paranormal evidence and stories from around the world, and we'll be talking about those once a week. We have the Amanda's Ghost Stories, which she usually does on Wednesdays. She's been we've both been just super busy with all kinds of stuff, and we just haven't been able to catch up. And so I'm just trying to catch up on these podcasts too. I apologize that a podcast didn't go out on Wednesday, but work has been awesomely busy, which is great for me. Really love my job and stuff like that. So you've heard me probably talk about it before. If you're new here, we have a lot of new people on our podcast listening and viewing our podcast. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you listening and subscribing. If you're on our YouTube channel, please subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of these podcasts, because they don't always come out when they're supposed to. Anyways, the other two podcasts are the Cryptid Only podcast, where we're only going to be talking about cryptid creatures. And then we have a Bigfoot only podcast. And I know you guys are going, well, Matt, you know what? The cryptid is a Bigfoot. But Bigfoot's so popular that we talk about it kind of on its own. And we go into reports and stuff and show you guys what we're working on. So we do research Bigfoot activity. So again, my name is Matt Harvey. I am the founder of Deep Woods Paranormal. And then also the host of the Deep Woods Paranormal Podcast, along with my wife, Amanda. We've been researching the paranormal for close to 30 years now. And we just kind of travel around Texas right now. We've been all over the world investigating ghosts mainly, but we've seen different crazy things in different places. So anyways, this has kind of been a paranormal journey for me. And we're bringing you guys along on the ride here. So let's get started. Let me share my screen with you guys. And we want to go here. So this is your opportunity to help us out. This is a Deep Woods Paranormal Buy Me a Coffee page. Looks like somebody just bought us 5 coffees. I don't know who you are yet. We haven't gotten a notification. Maybe you didn't put an email in. But whoever you did, just thank you so much. That really helps us get to our goal, which is around $2,000. We're trying to buy a prime time, professional, very professional video camera, so that we can hire somebody to basically follow us around through the woods or through the ghost hunts or on our UFO investigations or whatever we're doing, looking for river monsters. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to buy that. And it's just unfortunately a little out of our financial reach at this point. So if we can get a couple $1,000 from people helping us out, we'll be able to buy that gear and stuff like that. Speaking of gear, we just, this is kind of not, this is Anything Goes Paranormal podcast. So we just bought 2 new pieces of gear. We're looking forward to getting that in, and I'll share that with you. I'll unbox it on our YouTube channel when we get it, and you guys will be able to see that. I'm super excited about it. It's something I've been working on for a long time. My theory is that spirits have to use some kind of energy, whether it comes from us or it comes from the wall or the refrigerator or something. They need some kind of energy source that they can pull off of to manifest. And when I say manifest, I mean it could just be you could hear a voice, you could see something, you could see an apparition, you might see an outline of a person, you might hear something like footsteps or anything else. And then, something may move or something like that might happen. That's what I mean by manifest. It means just basically show themselves, do something, make a noise, something that, you can say, okay, yeah, I don't know what that is. Or I know what that is, but I don't know how it happened. So anyways, we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys again for whoever bought us a coffee. I will be giving a shout out every week as we get coffees to people who have bought us the coffees. We can't thank you guys enough. Welcome to all the new listeners and viewers. We are just going crazy on getting new people in here. On our YouTube channel, we not only post our paranormal videos, we post our podcasts there, and then we also post just anything else we're doing that's paranormal gear reviews, stuff like that. So if you guys are interested in anything like that, let us know. We have quite a few Bigfoot expeditions coming up. One where I may just go out solo out into the woods for a day or two and into places where Bigfoot activity has been seen, and I may camp in certain places. Amanda has shown an interest that she wants to go with me out to some of these places because she's never experienced a Bigfoot. Well, she's possibly experienced Bigfoot at Joe's. And then she possibly saw one when she was driving through the forest that day. I also saw something. I think I saw something different than she did. So, and it was within about 15 seconds of each other. So basically it was just what I think I saw. And I have to say, I cannot say 100% with 100% accuracy that what I saw was a Bigfoot. But I believe I saw a Bigfoot move and then start to run. And by the time Amanda got the car stopped, it was gone. Amanda also had an experience kind of like that where she thought she saw something, but she couldn't say for sure. Like I always say, you have to have an experience you can say that couldn't be anything else but. And unfortunately, neither one of us at that point could say that couldn't be anything else but a Bigfoot. So anyways, let's get into this. Okay, so thank you guys again for the coffees. We appreciate it. We're going to be talking about urban legends because so many people last week contacted me and said, well, I really like that. Let's do some more of this. I know a lot of people send in suggestions, and I just thank you so much. I'm going to be writing those down, and I'll be looking them up probably next week, and we'll talk about that. So here's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are 5 urban legends that kind of go with the paranormal. So I kind of looked through these and kind of went, oh, this is interesting. And we're going to start here. This is the legend of Alabama's Dead Children's Playground. Now, I've heard a little bit about this. Supposedly the swings will move on their own on a windy day. People hear kids playing, and there's no kids. So anyways, let's read this. Bear with me for 1 second. Okay. So adjoining Huntsville Historical Maple Hill Cemetery, a cemetery, is a playground that looks much like any other. featuring modern swing sets and climbing apparatus. But this playground isn't like any others. Passerbyers often say they can see the swings move on their own, as well as orbs or spectral figures, meaning they're seeing like spirits of ghosts or kids playing, like I said, on the apparatus.
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
Lean on us.
We are here for you.
You matter.
You are not alone.
Are you feeling overwhelmed? Not sure where to turn? The National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there for you 24/7. Call or text 988 or chat at 988sc.org. Whether you're having an emergency or you know someone who needs support now, they can help you take the next step towards finding hope and healing.
There is hope. 988sc.org.
So it says the playground is surrounded on three sides by limestone that formed many caves in the area, giving it a shadowed appearance that lends itself to a spooky legend. The proximity to the historical cemetery doesn't hurt it either. Local teens call it the Dead Children's Playground. So let's scroll down. Okay. So how did the incident, Let me try that again. How did the innocent place get its gruesome name? So it says, according to legend, many children who died in Huntsville, and this is in Alabama, not Texas, Huntsville during the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic are buried in Maple Hills plots adjoining the playground, meaning they're buried in the cemetery. The spirits of those children, some say, come out after dark and run and play. They might have, as they might have in life. An online search turns up photos of unexplained photos and shadows. That's interesting. Okay. Is it true that many children as well as adults died during the worldwide pandemic that killed an estimated 50 million people worldwide and hit Huntsville particularly hard? Hospitals were filled and doctors were working long shifts in hope of easing some of the patients' misery. Oh, that sounds fun. Okay. Let me just scroll down here. If you're watching this, you can read this on your own. I'll put the link down below to these so you guys can come back here and check them out for yourself. Let's see. According to the Alabama Department of Public Health, the deadly flu arrived in Alabama by way of Huntsville on September 25th, 1918. Within 10 days, it had spread to the general population. The Alabama DHP quoted an October 5th article from the Brigham News reporting cases of Spanish influenza have increased more than 1,100 in Huntsville. According to Dr. C, blah, 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 A. Grote, health officers of Madison County have been there for okay, so they've seen additional 300 cases. Let me just kind of briefly go through this. So basically, they had a really bad Spanish flu outbreak in this area. There's supposedly a cemetery that sits right next to this park, and essentially what happens is the kids come out and play at night, supposedly. Now, I've heard there's reports of sightings during the day, too, and stuff like that. So that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, very cool. Love to check this place out one of these days. Maybe go set up a camera at night or multiple cameras at night, let them sit and run and see if what they document. So on the bucket list, let's go to the next one. All right. So I've never heard of this place, but I wanted to take a look at it with you guys. And just so you know, anything I'm reading, if you guys live near these places, you've been to these places, you've investigated these places, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you experienced. If you experienced anything, is it really haunted? Let us know. I've never been there, and I'm sure some of our viewers and listeners would love to hear about your experiences there. So, and like I said, if you ever want to come on the podcast and talk about your paranormal experience, as long as it's paranormal in nature, we'd love to have you. So, okay. This is the Haunted Canyon in Arizona. So it says a visit to this haunted canyon in Arizona will make your hair stand on end. For some reason, Arizona's haunts and legends are a bit creepier than other states. From the legendary tales of Malgoon Monster, we'll have to look that up in a minute here, to the list of other places with widely publicized haunts. The Grand Canyon stays a playground for paranormal enthusiasts. The ghosts of Slaughterhouse Canyon, that's what this is, it's the Slaughterhouse Canyon, are no exception. They might be among the creepiest spooks in Arizona. Check it out. So it says if you're among those who seek out hair-raising experiences for the fun of it, then head to Kingman, to the base of Luna's Canyon, more commonly referred to as Slaughterhouse Canyon. I think when we were in Arizona, we did hear about this. We just didn't have the time to go check this out. So let's find out why this place is said to be so haunted. There's a long-standing legend that surrounds the eerie canyon, and the story behind it is true, which cannot be proven. It's horrific, tragic, and just plain sad. Legends has it that during the 1800s, a family lived down in the bottoms of the Slaughterhouse Canyon. You can probably guess the first part of this tragic story. One time, he left and never returned. Meanwhile, his wife and children were left alone in the canyon and slowly began to starve. Oh, geez. Times were hard, and the father would regularly leave for weeks at a time in search of food and possibly even gold and anything to keep his family fed and clothed. As with any canyon, if you yelled out loud enough, the echo would eventually make its way back to you. And as the family began to wither away, their screams of starvation would circulate all around the canyon. Eventually, as the legend goes, the mother couldn't bear to hear her children's painful screams, and so she murdered them and then took her own life. Visitors to Slaughterhouse Canyon have reported feeling the anguish that still permeates in the air. Excuse me. On evenings when the air is still thick, it's reported that you can hear the screams of the kids of the mother as she made tragic decision to end their suffering. Oh my gosh. All right, so there's a video. If you're watching on here, it says Parrot Bebop drone fly over Slaughterhouse Canyon. Let's take a look at this real quick. I don't know if there's going to be any audio. So he's just playing music. I just want to see what this actually looks like. Oh, excuse me. Okay, well. Oh, there's a housing community down there now. Huh. Well, I wonder what you have to do to get permission to get down in there and do an investigation. Okay, so it says Luna's Canyon, aka Slaughterhouse Canyon, is located southwest of Kingman. Do you have what it takes to venture into its haunted canyon and experience the uneasiness and screams of hurt? So, yeah, again, if you live next to this canyon, it kind of reminds me of Black Star Canyon a little bit. But if you live next to this canyon, again, comment down below. Let us know what your experiences were, and maybe we'll have you on the podcast to talk about them if you've explored this place and done investigations down here. All right, so sounds like a cool place. Sounds like it has a lot of potential. With the homes up above, I don't know, how much you could actually really get, because if there's a lot of noises coming from up there, it could echo through the canyons and sound something different than it actually is. Okay. All right. So this is the urban legend of Dog Boy. This is in Arkansas, and it says an Arkansas town would probably like to kill the legend of Gerald Bettis. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. So it says in 2005, Central Arkansas Society for Paranormal Research was asked to visit a home at 65 Mulberry Street in the town of Quitman, Arkansas. Now, guys, if you're in this area or you know of this area, get permission before you do anything. Always be respectful of the locations you're going to. Make sure that you are, basically allowed to be there. It happens sometimes where you kind of go to a place where everyone else is gone, and then all of a sudden you find out, oops, well, I didn't have permission to be here. I needed permission. That happens. But don't go there like to the canyon or whatever and start investigating without finding out if you need permits to be in there, or if you need permission from a landowner or whatever. Just again, please, make sure that you have permission. We don't want anybody getting in trouble, number one, and number two, we don't want people going out to these locations and getting making a bad name for the paranormal researchers who do this research. Okay, so let's get back into this. It seemed the owners of the house, a couple named Weaver, were experiencing odd events such as lights turning off and on their own, sudden noises, cold spots, the feeling of someone else was living in the home with them. Tony Weaver.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses, so don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Told the founder, Karen Schillings, that he finally responded to their ad in the local newspaper when he saw a man dressed in World War I as a World War I soldier staring through the foyer into the living room. Yeah, that would be interesting. So let's go back a little bit. These are basically like very classic paranormal activity things that we hear about. The lights turning off and on their own, sudden noises like footsteps, sometimes like tapping, sometimes like people talking or whispering, cold spots. That's all basically signs of a possible, and I say this possible, you guys got to take all this with a grain of salt. I've never been here. I don't know if any of this is true or not, but it's just an interesting story. And again, this is just an urban legend. So 2 years earlier, a renovated a renovator named Ed worked in the house at night, also reported seeing a large, weird-looking man with long brown hair, creepy eyes, and great big arms and hands, holding a cat near the sunroom. He reported that the man walked right in front of him, gargled before disappearing into the hallway. He also noted a cold wind down his back when the figure passed him. So a cold spot, basically, the theory, if you don't know what a cold spot is, energy is warm. When it's warm in an area, that just means there's a lot of energy in that area. And cold spots are basically the absence of energy. So when you get a cold spot, essentially it's spirits. The theory is that spirits are pulling energy out of the air and basically using it again to manifest in some way. In this case, he saw an apparition, then it got a cold spot, and then, basically had his encounter. So it says, shortly thereafter, rumors began circulating sporadically of the mysterious dog boy of Quitman, whose piercing eyes could sometimes be spotted in the upstairs window of the house late at night. These rumors were multiplied into one of the most hysterical and problematic urban legends of South America. It says Quitman is a small town Quitman is a small town straddling the border of Faulkner and Selburne counties in the state of Arkansas. Its population hovers around 740 residents, and its home and is the home of the usual retail stores and services. Residents and visitors dine at the Doghouse, County Line Smokehouse, and Appage Grill down DeMarcus Road. So this must be a local group because they're basically talking about, the city itself. Okay, so all right. Very deep in this small town's history, like an irritating splinter that cannot be removed, the legend of Gerald Bettis, known as Dog Boy. It's a chilling or ridiculous, as chilling or ridiculous as their some reports may be. This case of urban legend, where the true story is more interesting and in many ways more shocking than the paranormal folklore. Sorry about that, guys. My nose is going crazy, and it's hard for me to pronounce things right now for some stupid reason. Sorry, I have to get a drink here. Worse, it is not. Let's see. Worse, it is not much Gerald Bettis, but the dog legacy that continues to haunt the town of Quitman is the form of agitating and misleading paranormal websites. Okay, so they're complaining about us pretty much. Okay, blah blah blah. So here's the story. Okay, this is what I was looking for because I'm not gonna read all the other stuff. You guys can go back and read it if you want. Okay, so the straight story. Around 1890, a family named Garrett constructed at the time of the finest homes in Quitman. Around 1890, a family named Garrett constructed at the time one of the finest homes in Quitman, a rambling two-story at the corner of Mulberry and 3rd Streets. A local woman, Mary Nell Hullabird, recalled to writer Lisa Armstrong in October 28, 2007, Arkansas. Let's see, blah blah blah. Arkansas's Democrat Gazette, then that Benjamin Jackson moved in here with his wife. Okay, so I don't know why that's important. In 1898, they had a son, Joseph, who served in World War I. Joseph sadly died at age 21, and his mother passed away at age 28. There's speculation that the World War I era apparitions seen by the Weavers and Joseph Jackson is Joseph Jackson, but Joseph Jackson is a minor player in this tale. The frame house remained empty for over a decade before Floyd and Arlene Bettis moved in around 1951. While childless for the first few years, they finally had a son on July 23rd, 1953, named him Jarrell Floyd Bettis. So from an early age, Jarrell was a large and challenging child. Neighbors reported that Floyd and Alien were good parents, but Gerald was a malicious, demanding lout, always craving attention in inappropriate and tasteless ways. At a family reunion in the Quitman City Hall, for example, Jarrett opened a chase lounge. Then in the center of the room, in front of the foremost crowd, he reclined back like a Roman emperor and arrogantly popped grapes one at a time in his mouth. His social blah blah whatever. I want to know why this kid is known as Dog Bag. So as a teenager, it says his social circumstances took a moral turn as he began to pursue some unusual behaviors, including starting collecting stray cats and dogs, leading to his teasing name Dog Boy. Okay, because he collected animals, he became known as Dog Boy. Oh Jesus. So what they didn't know was actually he was doing terrible things to the animals and then killing them. Neighbors told reports they could hear them howl. Oh my gosh. So it says that he was 6'4", 300 pounds, and that he began to physically abuse his parents. As a teenager, he would beat his father regularly, and one time even threw him out a second-story window. Jesus. His dad was 67 years old at the time. He actually managed to hang on to the window ledge until the police came, which is good, blah, blah, blah. Although, let's see. Bear with me, I'm reading through this because I want to make sure I don't just read a bunch of stuff that doesn't need to be read. I guess Gerald Bettis, or Dog Boy, he went to prison years later. Says that he locked his parents upstairs for days or even weeks at a time, taking them food only when he got around to it. He had a sunroom built on the house and sold homegrown marijuana out of it. Supposedly he died in January of 1981 and after a supposed illness at home, but rumors fueled by the websites insist that Floyd had been pushed down the stairs and he died of a broken neck, so he was murdered in the house. So no doubt, it says, no doubt Gerald was a frightening person. One of the neighbors said that she was scared of him because of his eyes. She said, if you have ever seen his eyes, she said in 2007, they seem to glow at night. So they're making this poor kid out to be a monster. And that's basically what he turned into.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18 plus. Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
All right, I'm not going to go into this. This story keeps going and going and going. Supposedly his ghost now haunts the house that he lived in, and says that he was just basically a terrible person. Sometimes when you get people that are bad in life, they're sometimes bad after life too. So yeah, and sometimes they change, but okay. Here's another one I found. Let's take a look at this. This is a devil's chair of Cassadaga, Florida. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. So it says the terms devil's chair, sometimes referred to by less demonic terms such as the haunted chair, is part of the folklore found in numerous places around America. It is frequently attached to a kind of funeral or memorial sculpture, typically in the United States during the 19th century, when graves and cemeteries sometimes included carved chairs for the comfort of visitors. In the Victorian area, cemeteries were often laid out like parks, and people would be to go have picnics in them. Part of this park-like mystique was functional orientations such as chairs and benches. We also know them as mourning chairs, and cemeteries have since provided benches for visitors. Okay, I'm just going to read through this. We don't need to know all this stuff. Okay. All right, so it says local young people would dare one another to visit the sites, most often after dark, at midnight, or on some specified nights, such as Halloween or New Year's Eve. Variously, the stories suggested a person brave enough to sit in a chair at such a time might be punished for imprudence or rewarded for courage. Out of this tradition, any nearly forgotten stone bench or chair would have got the name the Devil's Chair. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out what's so interesting about this chair. So it says, which makes this area such a haven for spiritualism and hauntings. It is said to sit on a vortex, a point of concentrated physical energy. The vortex is natural, but other vortexes in the area are man-made, created by the psychic activity that this town is known for. Other vortices are said to exist at sites like Stonehenge and the local pyramids at Giza. It is within the vortex that the cemetery lies. The gravestones of the I can't even say it, at the cemetery date back to the 1800s. Even though vandals have tipped over many of the headstones, the cemetery mainly consists of those who are residents of Lake Helen and another town. It says within the vortex sits the large, menacing red brick bench known as the Devil's Chair. Okay. Here we go. So it says, many say that the devil himself speaks to you when you sit in the chair, and some report hearing voices in their heads when seated. Others say the devil's outright appears to be to those who are sitting in the chair. The best known legend of the devil's chair is one that leaves a can of unopened beer on the bench. One can find it empty at the end of the morning, but still unopened. Other versions of the story claim that the can is completely gone or found unopened in the morning. However, there is a tale about a young man who dared to sit in the chair at midnight on All Hallows Eve, which is Halloween. His friend watched him walk into the cemetery, winding his way between the headstones and making his way down to Devil's Chair before he faded in the darkness of the night. That was the last time he was ever seen. It seems he found his way to the chair and had a seat as the clock struck midnight. After that, he simply disappeared. Some say Satan himself appeared and dragged the young man, kicking and screaming, to hell. Others say that he was a victim of the vortex, swallowed up by the forces of the earth. The truth may lie somewhere in the middle, but that's somewhere the terrifying to be comprehended. So it's just saying beware. Okay, I can see why this might be an urban legend. God, I can't talk today. Sorry, my allergies are going nuts. All this cold that we've had, it's really messed up my allergies. My sinuses are just like stuffed up right now. Okay. So, interesting. I mean, if you look at Florida has a lot of paranormal activity reported. There's a lot of things that a lot of hauntings. You got Bigfoot, you got UFOs, and other cryptids down there too. So, just an interesting place. I mean, all cemeteries seem to have some kind of urban legend attached to them, usually, especially if they've been investigated enough. So that one wasn't as interesting as I thought it was going to be. I'm sorry, guys. Next time I'll have to listen a little bit more intently. All right. So this is interesting. It's the Goblins of Hopkinsville. Now, I've actually heard the story, and I've actually seen the witnesses talk about this a long, long time ago. And so, what happened? Let me read this. So, on the evening of August 21st, 1955, 5 adults and 7 children visited the Hopkinsville, Kentucky police station with a strange story. Among those 12 people were brothers Elmer and John Sutton, as well as O.P. Baker, who are pictured up above here. They were talking about their experiences. Okay. The group reported they had witnessed a flying saucer land near the farmhouse where they were staying that night. Said little men surrounded the house, peering in and frightening the families as they attempted to gain entry. John Sutton and Billy Ray Taylor claimed they had fought off the men with a shotgun and a pistol several hours before leaving to notify the police. The little men, they reported, were short, monkey-like, with long arms and webbed hands with talons, large, bright, offset eyes, and pointed ears. This sketch of the Evansville police artist Larry Hill appeared in the newsletter along with the first reports of the sightings. Okay, so here it is. So here's the picture. If you're watching this, you can see them down here. They kind of look almost like a frog mixed with maybe some kind of a lizard or maybe a fish. So, okay. So the Hopkins police investigated the incident. They found no tracks or markings outside the home. The only evidence of gunshots only evidence of the gunshots fired from inside. Another officer reported seeing a meteor shower in the area, but no flying saucer. Media reports quickly spread the news of the Hopkinsville goblins or little men. Reporting about this incident helped to popularize the term little green men as generic term for the use of aliens, and along with the color was not mentioned in the original group's interview. All right, so not everyone believed the attackers were spacemen. Alternative explanations at the time suggested test flight monkeys used in rocket experiments crashing in the area. A notable tongue-in-cheek explanation found in the Senate Republican memo published by whatever, we're not going to get into that, where the visitors simply green with envy. Yeah, okay. All right. Sorry, I'm just kind of reading through this. So I've heard a lot about this story, and it's a lot more involved than this. Supposedly, one of the kids came in and saw something land and told his parents that there was something out there. They went out to look. They saw the light. They essentially saw these little gray-looking like things coming out of this saucer into the woods and started basically towards their home. So what happened was they essentially decided it wasn't safe. So they went inside, loaded up their weapons, and as these things kind of came to the doors and windows, they shot at them. And supposedly this went on for a couple hours. And this is just my story that I've heard. Again, you got to take all this with a grain of salt. This may be a complete hoax, or it may not have happened at all. We have no idea. Unless you were there, you don't really know. Or you lived next to the area, or maybe you lived in the town or whatever at this point in time. Anyways, this went on for like a couple hours. The attacks went on for a couple hours, and then the little green men basically got back in the ship and flew away. So, I mean, I've heard of things like this before. I don't know what this is doing. It's switching over to something else. Is this real? I don't know. Let's listen to this guy. Oh, that's just another advertisement. There's a lot of advertisements in here. But essentially, I've heard of reports of aliens going in and trying to abduct people in their homes. I've talked to a few people. I've interviewed a few people that help people with those issues and the aftermath of that. They talk to alien abductees and stuff like that and help them. And, they just say the Greys are not that great of a civilization. Essentially what happened was supposedly their world was destroyed. And so they've kind of gone through the galaxy looking for somebody that they can basically take all this with a grain of salt, guys. It's just what I've heard. They take some of our DNA and they take other things, and they basically are trying to recreate their own people, essentially. They're trying to repopulate. So, I don't know. They're just stories at this point. But they're kind of interesting. I mean, UFO research and alien abductions and all that stuff, it's kind of in a class of its own. And I don't do a lot of research into UFOs. I've seen some strange things. I've had maybe 3 now UFO encounters. I'm driving down the road for work, and I look up, and it looks like there's a star, and then there's a line across, like a dark line across, and then there's a little red dot next to it. And at first I just thought it was a star, and then I saw a plane fly by it because I was down towards Austin, and I watched this light for a good 45-50 minutes because I was driving basically in a straight line. It wasn't a plane coming towards me. It wasn't big. It was massive. It was like 4 or 5 times, maybe bigger than that, the width of that little plane, because that plane turned and flew straight at me for a second, then turned back to land. And I can see, both the lights on each side, and this thing dwarfed that. So I don't know what it was. Who knows, for sure. I wanted to pull over and get a picture of it, but it was pouring rain, so I was like, yeah, there weren't any stars out, so I don't know what it was. But anyways, just cool. All right, guys, so this podcast is getting a little bit long. I'm going to come back on here. And so, yeah, if you have a story or urban legend or something you want to share, feel free to contact me. My phone number and my email are down below, and you guys can go through and go on our website. You can contact us through there. Everything is private. We don't share your information. It's the same with people. If we go investigate their home or help them in a business or whatever, unless they give us permission to publicize it, we keep it private. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to start on the next podcast. I'm going to get onto the cryptid podcast here because we missed Wednesday's podcast release. This will go out today, and then either the cryptid podcast will go out today as well or tomorrow. All right, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.